Hey guys, it's Dana, and this is video number 36 in the Red Flags of a Narcissist series. Video number 36 is red flag number 36, which is people either love them or they hate them. So what's up with that, right? Well, here's my take on it. I think that there's really three main groups of people out there as far as narcissists are concerned. There's the group of people out there that really believe all of the narcissist excuses and lies. And then there's the second group, which is the people that really want to believe all of the narcissist excuses and lies. And then there's the third group who no longer believe the narcissist excuses and lies. And so the first group tends to really love these people because they just believe everything. They take everything for face value, which probably are a lot of lies, right? About how great this narcissist is of a person, how helpful they are, how above and beyond they really go. And of course, the people that no longer believe their excuses and lies have had enough of their bad behavior. They see them for what they are, which are just liars, and they're just destructive people. So they hate them. They tended to have no contact with them. They've cut them out of their lives. They are just done. And if you were to ask them about them, they will go on and on and on about everything that they've experienced with these people and how they're not. And it makes them oftentimes really angry because so many other people only see the good in these people and they think that they're this fantastic human being, when the reality is no, they've caused a ton of damage and destruction in people's lives. That's where you get like the two polar opposite viewpoints of these people. So so each of these groups has what I consider to be two main viewpoints that drive their behavior. And so the first group that who truly believes their excuses and lies, the first viewpoint they have is that they don't know that these kinds of problematic people exist. They think that and then the second viewpoint is that they think that they would be able to spot a problematic person, because a lot of us, right, like we tend to think that we would be able to spot problematic people because we think that they look problematic, but by and large they really don't. I mean, the obvious ones do, but a lot of people don't. And so, especially not the covert narcissist, because they do come across as so kind and charming and giving, and they're the wolves in sheep's clothing. So it's hard for a lot of us to spot them. The second group of people are those that really want to believe the narcissist's excuses and lies, right? These people have the two main mindsets of cognitive dissonance, and then another term that I just made up that I call thought holes. And so the first term, cognitive dissonance, is a $10 term, and it basically means the distress that we experience when we're holding two conflicting thoughts about the same topic or a person at the same time. And so how this comes into play is, let's say, for example, I have a family member. I'll make up a name. I'll call her Sarah. And Sarah, let's say she's done a lot for me over the years. And I just think there's a part of me that's like, I think Sarah's like really manipulative. And every time she does me a favor, I feel like she's always holding it over my head. For every one nice thing she does for me, it's like she expects 100 in return. But she's family, so I have to keep her in my life. If I'm going to keep her in my life, then I'm going to have to, this is the second part of cognitive dissonance, is that we need our thoughts and our actions to line up. And so if they don't, then something's got to give. Our thoughts have to change to match our actions, or our actions have to change to match our thoughts. So in this case with Sarah, if I'm going to keep her in my life, then I'm going to have to justify my thinking. Or I could change my action. But if I want our relationship to stay the same, I'm going to have to tell myself, well, she's not that bad after all. I guess things could be a lot worse. And I guess, well, she's just family. So I'm just going to stay with it. Which brings me to what I call thought holes. In my opinion, this is where I see a lot of people go wrong, myself included. And there's four main thought holes out there. And thought holes are a lot like potholes in that we don't really see them coming, but if you drive into one, especially here in Michigan where I'm from, actually this happened to me last winter. You can break an axle in your car. I mean, they will do tons of damage and you don't even see them coming. So the four main thought holes out there, first one is, well, no one's perfect, right? Second one is, well, who am I to judge? The third one is, well, we need to forgive and forget. This one is especially true when it comes to family members that are problematic, or spouses, or especially spouses or family members that are using any type of like obligation or guilt, and religion kind of falls into that to keep a person stuck in this dynamic. And the last one is we need to treat other people like we want to be treated. Now, on the surface, all four of these thought holes seem like totally reasonable, kind, compassionate ways to live our life. And they are if we're dealing with other reasonable, kind, and compassionate human beings. Where these thoughts become thought holes is when we're dealing with highly manipulative people. And so how can you tell really a manipulative person from a normal person is really by looking at their actions, and not only that, but their sincerity, their desire to change their actions, and if they're taking massive action to change. By and large, a lot of manipulative people just say or do the bare minimum they need to do in order to keep the relationship going on their terms. So, they're not going to want to go into therapy for any length of time. They're not going to want to take any changes of any kind. They're just going to talk their way into getting the victim to trust them. And again, it's some sort of, I developed this acronym. I talked about this in another video. I call it ICHIVE. And it stands for isolation, charm, hope, intimidation, violence, or emotion. And in that emotion, there's another acronym floating around out there that I didn't come up with, but my iChive is kind of an expanded version of that. The emotion that they manipulate is acronym. Well, I added to this one too, but it's FOG. But I added an L to it, so I guess it's like flog. But it's fear, love, obligation, and guilt. And so they will use any and all of that. They will just throw out all the stops in order to get the victim to stay. And so again, it's that sense of obligation. Well, you don't want the kids to have a divorced parents, right? Or, we're family, so you have to forgive and forget. Or it's guilt, I can't believe that you're doing this. Or it's the charm, I'm so sorry. Or it's the hope, yes, I'll go to therapy, things will be different, right? Just hang in there. Given enough time and love and understanding and therapy or rehab, this person could really change. But they never really do. And so again, a person only will change if they truly sincerely want to change. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, kind of thing. So you can bring a narcissist to therapy, but if nothing seems to be like sinking into them, then they don't really want to change. That's kind of it. So that's the two viewpoints of that second group. The third group of those who really who no longer believe their excuses and lies, the two viewpoints and the two kind of challenges that this group has is, first off, they're developing boundaries. So yay them, right? This is so fantastic. They have finally drawn that line in the sand, and they're seeing abuse for what it is, which, unlike the first group who's not seeing abuse for what it is, or the second group who's trying to make sense of the abuse, but they want to stay in this dynamic. So they're just justifying it. The third group is finally like, we're done with it. I'm cutting off contact, or I'm greatly limiting it, these kinds of things. The second part of that is when a person sets boundaries, especially when you're dealing with some sort of family dynamic and you've got a narcissist. I think especially if they're a parent, there's a lot of pressure out there. People fall into that thought hole of, well, you should forgive and forget. And so now the victim has that thought hole of, I should forgive and forget, but so does the rest of their family. And they're thinking, yeah, I know that they beat and they raped you, but they're your dad or they're your mom. And so somehow that just makes it okay. And that's disgusting that anybody, and I think we're all guilty of it, that we have these thoughts. And it's not that we're bad people for having these thoughts. It's because we're perceiving the other people's experiences with their family through the lens of what we experienced. And of course, that does them a terrible injustice, because if they've suffered horrendous abuse, not even horrendous, if they've suffered abuse of any kind to the point where they're wanting to walk away, but we're saying, well, yeah, but they're your mom. Well, that's ridiculous to think that, right? Because under no other situation would we tell somebody, well, yeah, okay, this person used to beat you or call you names or put you down or sexually molest you, that you should somehow just go continue on having that relationship with them. That's a fantastic idea. No, we would never say that, right? If anything, we might say you should move far away from that person and then file charges. So it's victims, children, I think, especially of narcissists, have that added challenge of they need to set boundaries, but then no one really is going to understand. Not even possibly family members, not even other siblings that might have even gone through the same thing, because they might still have that mindset of, yeah, but still. But yeah, but it's our dad or it's our mom or it's our other sibling who did all this. So we need to forgive and forget. Nobody's perfect. Who are we to judge? We should treat other people like we want to be treated. But that's not how that works, right? So a person needs to be truly remorseful of their behavior, take massive action in the direction of changing it. The victim needs to distance themselves toward that they are safe and sane, while this person makes some sort of massive effort towards change. But again, this person doesn't have to accept this person back in their life. Even if this person does change or shows the motions of changing, it's totally okay for this person to say, you know what? I don't care if you've changed. Like, there's been so much damage done. I don't think that I could trust you, so I need to just go walk away. I wish you, peace and love, but from behind a closed door that I'm now going to nail shut. And it's okay that you don't understand. I know that you have all these thought holes that you're operating from, but that's okay. And I know that other families going to have these too, but I've got to do what I need to do to stay safe and sane. And I'm sorry that you can't see that. And then I would encourage family that are pushing you into staying and saying, yeah, but still, yeah, but they're your parent, to think about it. Is this the same advice that you would give me if this person was a total stranger? Or if they were a spouse or a friend? No. Okay, well then why not? What makes blood any different? People have this twisted idea that somehow like DNA trumps all, and it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. So, do what you need to do to stay safe and sane. Totally okay for you to walk away. It's okay. Have your boundaries and be confident in them. So that's what I have for you guys for tonight. I will be curious to know what everybody else has to say. And as always, any questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas, insights, you need some support, you just want to say hi, the best place to get a hold of me is on my website, which you can find on my support group, which is in the comment section down below. And as always, lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal. So do what's right for you and what that takes for your own healing. Okay? Take care. Bye.